ADR, this is King Black, and I titled this video Ways to De-Stress Your Life. Everybody has that point in their life where things happen to build up and build up and build up, where you feel like that you are going to explode, that you're going to have a physical reaction due to your emotional state of mind. You have to keep this physical reaction in check. And there are many ways to do this. One of the most recommended ways I tell people is to do exercise. When you're feeling stressed out, you're feeling mad, you're feeling overwhelmed, just stop what you're doing if you're at home and do 30 push-ups. Do 30 push-ups. And when you get up, you're going to feel a little bit better, because not only did you exert some of that energy you were holding inside, but you were also building up your body. Another way to de-stress is to write things down. Keep a journal. A journal sounds something like what a kid would do, but believe it or not, it helps. Now, don't write nothing incriminating about yourself, because some of you out there are involved in some things that are, how shall we say, on the up and up. So you don't want to be putting too much of your life in there, but you're feeling angry, you're feeling a particular way towards somebody, you're feeling a particular way toward the situation. Just say the anger that you feel without revealing too much details. Sometimes we feel things in the moment, and later on we end up regretting it. So if you feel like the words that you put onto the page isn't who you are, don't be afraid that once that journal is filled up, burn it, rip it up, tear it up. Don't even read what you wrote. Don't revisit that state of mind. You should be able to put that behind you and move beyond it. You see, when you hang on to something for too long, especially anger, you tend to make mistakes. And these mistakes don't tend to be small ones. They tend to be large, life-changing mistakes. They tend to lead to clouded judgment. One way to avoid this is express your feelings, get it all out there, do some exercise, do some push-ups. I don't really recommend sit-ups. That doesn't really exert the energy as much as 30 push-ups. Writing, or sometimes just put on some headphones, listen to some songs, and express yourself. Don't yell, but talk to yourself. Talk about how angry you feel. Talk about how dumb you think the situation is or the person is. But we have to remember that every time we step outside of that door, when we wear our colors or people know who we are, we no longer represent just ourselves. We are a reflection. We are one part, a small part of the mirror that comprises the nation. So however we act, however we talk, however we handle situations, especially high pressure, high stress situations, is how people are going to view us as a collective. they see that you have an explosive personality, that they can't even, that they're afraid to tell you something that might anger you, because you're going to instantly start throwing things, or you're going to start cussing everybody out over something menial. And they're going to assume that most of us are the same way. And only in certain situations is this a good thing. But in terms of being around neutrals and civilians and the public, there's no reason to have this 50-foot wall around you. Have you ever noticed people don't want to help an asshole? Well, if you act that way, people are going to view you as an asshole. So when they see you struggling, or they see they need help, or they see you in a low point of your life, they're not going to help you. They're going to be those people that walk by the homeless without even a glance. You're going to become invisible, or you're going to become a lightning rod of negative attention. Dogs are going crazy outside. It's a good alarm system to have. Keep that in mind. You ever worried about security? Alarms can get cut. Windows can be broken. But a dog will let you know what's going on when there's anything out of the ordinary. Anyways, don't let stress eat you alive. For example, I'm an implosive personality, which means I let things build and build and build until it reaches an overflowing point. And once it overflows, it's 10 times worse than if I would express myself in the moment. And I have also been trying to combat this by working out, doing push-ups, by writing, expressing myself through the strokes of a pen, or through these videos is an outlet. It's an outlet of energy, an outlet of emotion, which I try to channel into positivity. For over a decade, I have been in this nation. Now, a lot of people on the internet like to talk crap. But of course, it's the internet. And I have nothing to gain, neither does anybody else, by overreacting and doing something dumb over words typed on the screen, or words written down, or even just words being said. Nothing on Twitter is worth dying over. Nothing on Instagram is worth dying over. Nothing on Facebook or YouTube is worth dying over. Only when somebody physically invades your space, threatens your physical safety or your family's, do you have the right to do something about it. Otherwise, depending on the level of the threat, there's other ways it can be handled. A lot of people like to talk the talk but not walk the walk, A lot of people say, oh, when I see you, my boys are going to get you. Why does it have to be their boys? They're talking all this big game. Why don't they do it themselves? Because they want an audience. They want to feel that if things go south, they have backup. They have fear. Fear of you, fear of what you can do. Sometimes it's not about hurting somebody. It's about knowing when not to. You can't let things spin out of control. When you join a nation, you join the nation as a collective, to be a part of the collective, not to be an individual, not to do your own thing, not to stray away and use our name for your own personal purposes. It's supposed to be about helping our brothers and sisters in the community. Instead of being the first ones to advocate violence, we had to be the first ones to advocate peace. There have been too many shakeups with the federal government doing raids in Chicago and taking down the leaders of the Kings under the RICO Act. And these leaders have been caught on surveillance doing things that are against our lessons. I'm a strong advocate of you can be a lion king or a queen without ever having committed a crime or having a record. Regardless if you have committed a crime, as long as you don't have a record, you don't have to open your mouth and be telling people about what you did. I don't advocate hard drug usage. I don't advocate alcoholism. These things are destructive, they cloud your judgment, and they lead you down a dark path. They lead you down a path where you stop caring about the nation's needs, you stop caring about your family's needs, and you start only caring about your emotions in the moment. Instead of thinking of the bigger picture of the consequences, you think about, how do I explode now? Not, let me take a step back. This is what they're trying to do. They're trying to provoke me, or they're trying to get me to do something, so that way they have an excuse to point the finger and say, look at what he's doing. There comes a point where we have to mature beyond that gangbanging mentality. The colors do not signify gang banging. Chicago is a completely different story. It's a war zone. I get it. But in other places, it isn't so. It's only so because you make it so. Not because it's been that way since the 40s, the 50s, the 60s, the 70s. There is no talking in Chicago, but in other places, we have an opportunity to be different. New York, Massachusetts, Connecticut, Florida, Texas, Spain, Colombia, Mexico. We have a chance for others to see us in a different light than as they view King Blood, whom those of us who are bloodline owe our respect and loyalty to, but for what he's in prison for, we are not to emulate those actions. We are not here to hurt our brothers and sisters. We're not here, if you're a Latin king, to steal the queen of another king. We're not here to steal, to rob, definitely not to rape, not to murder out of vengeance. Only in self-defense do we defend ourselves. And depending on the level of the threat is the level of reaction. You have to think smart. Nowadays, there's too many people who are ready to flip flop. There are way too many people ready to set trip, which basically means snitch and switch over to a different gang. Or you got people who, even if you didn't do anything or what you did was minor, once they get caught up for something bigger, they will look into their barrel of secrets so that way they can get out. And all the secrets they can dig out, they will dig out. And that includes you. So you have to live cleanly, you have to live smart, you have to live intelligent. You want to be a king when you're 60 years old or a queen when you're 60 years old and say, I made it. Not behind bars, not in a casket, but I'm alive and free. Too many of us have been brought down over senseless beefs. And it's sad to go to some of these funerals and to see people younger than me already in a box, and I'm still here. People that have been in the nation less than 2 years, and they're already 6 feet under, or they're in jail. And I've been in for over 10 years, and I've never set foot in a correctional facility. I have never been in handcuffs. There's a different way to be a king. That's what separates us from all other organizations, from the Bloods, the Crips, the Gangster Disciples, the MLDs, the SDs, the freaking Latin Counts, the freaking La Razas, the freaking MS-13, the 18 Streets, all these other organizations have a different purpose in life. They have a different end goal. They don't care if their members spend a life in jail. But I don't even know the hundreds of thousands of people in our organization. But I already care for them because we are part of the almighty Latin King and Queen Nation. And as such, it hurts to see their life ruined because of a single mistake. They should be out here celebrating with us in a family barbecue with their kids, their wife, their husband, the boyfriend, girlfriend, for the laughs, the smiles, the good times. It's not always roses, but we have to remember, in a biological family, it's not always roses either. We may fight, we may quarrel, but we move beyond it. ADR? That's all I gotta say for now. King Black, out.